You've tuned into Bellingham Podcast Media Tech for the week of April 10, 2017, episode 33. From the spring has not yet sprung city of subdued excitement, I'm AJ Barce.
And straight out of 9226, I am Chris Powell. On this episode, AJ finds an oasis in the desert and has a few interesting news tidbits from Basel World. And we both take a look at our three favorite letters, EDC. Have no fear, it's that time of year. We're talking about everyday carry gear right here on BPM Tech.
I like the fact that you bolded everything that you were going to rhyme with.
It's just my little cue to be able to enunciate.
I see, and take pause. And how are you, Chris?
I'm doing fine. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You went away from 9226 for a while. What was up?
Yeah, so I was out of town, and thank you for doing the little blurb of holding the feed down while I was gone.
Well, yeah.
So I was over in Vegas for the first time ever.
Vegas, baby.
Two of my buddies, they're getting married, and they had a bachelor party, and we went over, and it's kind of funny because like pretty much everybody in the group were either dads or married or getting married, so it wasn't too wild and crazy or anything like that, you know, because a lot of us value sleep. But
yes.
Interesting place, Vegas.
That's a way of describing it. Yes, interesting.
Hey, you know, it's not Whatcom. But while I was there, Vegas is not my scene. Like, I'm not the big party, woo type person. I like my calm, cool, collective type of thing. And I was looking for those oases.
Yes.
Oases.
Oases.
Yes, there we go. While I was over there, I found one of the places I wanted to go was the Venetian, because I've been to Venice. And I wanted to see how it compared, and it's a cute misrepresentation of Venice, but I appreciate the re-envisionment that they had at the resort.
Even though it is audacious.
It is completely audacious. You know, you've been to Vegas more times than I have.
Well, a couple times, but yeah, every time I'm like, what the heck is this?
But I mean, it was cool. Food was cool and stuff. But in the Venetian, there's this little place called Horologio.
That's a Scrabble word.
It is. I believe that is Italian for horological.
Okay. And so just in case those users at home, even though we're talking about Las Vegas, in this case, horology is the study of watches.
So I was trying to hit them up with trying to find out what they found out from Basel, and they didn't know much. And I'll get to that segment in a bit. But really cool shop. If you're over in Vegas and you want a cool watch shop, check out Horologio.
But AJ, how did it feel to be having Ferraris on your wrist?
Oh, it was nice, Chris.
If you have the means, I highly recommend it. Like Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
No, it was really cool. I mean, they got some. They carry everything from Vacheron to IWC to Omegas. But it was just really cool. It is a shop that we have some cool watch shops in Seattle and stuff, but these guys, they have some upper end stuff.
It sure beats the crap out of the kiosk in Bellis Fair that has all those watches available for sale, huh?
Moving on.
Yes.
So also while I was there, I found out, I actually got in on the ground floor on something. There's a new nightclub / bar / for lack of a better term, adult arcade called The Nerd.
Perfect.
Basically, if you're a geek and you're in Vegas, check them out. They're over in Fremont. So that's old Vegas. And right before you go into the Fremont experience, which is an experience, if you hook a right and you hit this little plaza, there's actually the Fremont Arcade down below. But if you go one story up and to the right from that is this new place called The Nerd. And basically, it is a geek heaven. It used to be an old bowling alley that they converted into this nightclub. They've got swag from Iron Man and Breaking Bad all over the place. But what's cool is that for the cost of a drink or cover, you can play to your heart's content free. I'm talking free pool, free bowling, free Nintendo. They have the Nintendo Minis that are so coveted. They have those set up that you can play Nintendo Switches, like the brand new Nintendos that are hard to come by.
It's worth the price just to go there.
It is worth the price. They also have dancing and all that other jazz. I basically went there to try their signature drink and to play some Nintendo. And it's also one of those places where it's bumping, but it's not Vegas bumping. It's not loud and in your face and audacious. It's a chill lounge for geeks. So if you're stuck in Vegas and you're a geek, check them out.
So you found your happy places with the Watch Heaven and Geek Game Heaven.
Totally.
Awesome.
So,
Good stuff.
Yep. So do you want me to dive into what I heard about with Basel?
I would sure hope so. There was a big watch convention that just happened.
Huge. So Basel World, if you remember about this time last year, I did a quick blurb about Basel. It's basically the big trade show when it comes to the heavy hitters of the watch industry. I mean heavy hitters, both independent as well as the main ones like Rolex and maybe Omega. Maybe you've heard those names. But also you'll hear things like, Frederic Constant was there, which is why I want to go to Frederic right off the top. Frederic Constant, who also owns Alpina, which is owned collectively by Citizen of Japan, they announced that they have a E-strap. Now, this is a watch strap that can go on to pretty much any watch, but what's cool about it is the smart thing. Okay, so you can have an analog watch, whether it's quartz, mechanical, your old great-great-granddad's twice removed, whatever. You put the strap on your watch and you get smart features that people want in a, quote, smart watch. You get activity wearing, sleep monitoring, alarms, active coaching, it's a rechargeable battery, all these cool things for... It's going to be released at the end of May, but they said anywhere from about 229 to 249 Swiss francs, which is at the time of this recording about $250, maybe a little bit more, give or take. Which is interesting because you're able to convert and get some of the smart features that people covet in an analog watch that you love.
This is flipping the paradigm of wearables. Now, instead of having the screen that you're looking at or the guts being the movement or the digital computer movement, now you got it in the strap.
Yeah.
Now is it a leather or some type of fabric?
Right now it's only in leather, and basically if you want to take a look at it, just Google Frederic Constant E-strap. And it's really cool because they took the buckle, the thing that you would normally, cinch your strap with, and there's just a little bit wider buckle, and that's where all the electronics are. And it doesn't have like near field communication, so you can't pay with anything yet. But I could easily see them putting that feature in. Like, this is the first version of this.
Stay tuned in 2019.
Right, right.
So, AJ, you happen to have had experience with an analog watch.
Oh, yeah.
You happen to have made one for yourself.
Yes.
Could this Frederic Constant strap, the E-strap, be one of your next eyeballing purchases?
Maybe not. Maybe not this version, because like I said, I would like the be able to pay type of thing. That's the only thing that I really see value in that type of thing. But I mean, if they added that type of thing for $250, okay, and you could take any watch and make it a, quote, smartwatch. It has a companion app, iOS, Android. You get your steps, you get all the other stuff that people want. That's a really huge step, and also coming from a Swiss manufacturer, it's going to be built well. So anyway, it was really interesting to see that's kind of a trend. A lot of the talk was, what's going to happen to quartz? The quartz, like the Fossil watches, like the one that you rock. A lot of people are going to go away from the simple 250 bones for a quartz watch in favor of these Android wears, or there's the Apple Watch. But I believe Fossil actually announced that they had smartwatches.
If they're smart, they would, yes.
The really big shakeup was Montblanc. Maybe you've heard of them.
The pen company.
The pen company that also does really cool watches.
Yes.
I went to a Montblanc while in Vegas. They have a Android Wear Connect watch that they announced that has Montblanc watch faces and such. Tudor showed off their Black Bay Chronograph, which I didn't really care for the aesthetic of it, but it's cool. It's a new movement in cooperation with Breitling. A lot of people kind of were saying that this Basel World attendance was low, which is kind of on trend with what we're seeing. The luxury, quote unquote, market is kind of decreasing, which is the rise of this notion that Frederic Constant really hits hard, which is affordable luxury, getting a good built product with exclusivity and with limited editions and stuff. So anyway, it was interesting. The big announcement out of Basel, and anybody who is all a Twitter about this, it was the 60th anniversary for the Omega Speedmaster, Railmaster, and Seamaster, which if you don't know what that is, Neil Armstrong went to the moon, rocked a Speedmaster. That's the moon watch.
All right.
Okay. This marked the 60th anniversary. 1957 was the first run of the Railmaster, Seamaster, and Speedmaster, and Omega did, I think it's a run of 1,957 of what they're calling the trilogy. Now, this is not for the faint of heart of people. This is for high-end collectors, But for 20,000 Swiss francs estimated, you can get a box, this gorgeous handmade box with a Railmaster, Speedmaster, and Seamaster that is an exact copy of the original run from 1957.
So you're looking at about $6,300 per watch.
Sure. Yeah.
Or around that time, a 3-pack for 20 bills.
Yeah, and all of them are serialized. That is the trilogy. That's it. Well, now they have production watches where you can get it, but it's not stamped the trilogy. But that was the one everybody was just drooling over because it wasn't an homage. It is they went back to their archives and to their spec remade them.
Well, I say we go back to Vegas, throw down on some of those slots, get yourself 20 bills in a big old jackpot, and then you can throw down on those 3 trilogy watches.
I'll watch you do that.
There you go. Let's pause for a station break. You're listening to KMRE in Bellingham, 102.3 Low Power FM. That's right.
What's this EDC other than 3 letters?
Well, we've already talked about this in the past. We've done a blog post about it in some cases. But EDC, of course, stands for Everyday Carry. It's what we take with us on our way to work, or what we bring with us, what we have on our person when we're out and about. And we're talking about this upcoming show. What do we want to talk about? And it's like there's a couple new items that have hit in giving us pause to help us reevaluate what are we actually carrying with us on a daily basis. So there's 5 main the hand, the five fingers of the EDC hand.
For typically for men. Like we are talking for EDC for men.
And for EDC for the ladies, that could be hands, feet, ears, shoulders. Yeah. So at least for someone in our zone, consider your wallet, a blade or a multi-tool that might have a blade in it, an LED light or a flashlight. And no, we're not talking about your phone.
Or a torch.
Exactly. A notebook and a pen, just to jot down those fleeting thoughts that may come into your head. And then, of course, your watch. And so wallet, blade / multi-tool, light, notebook, pen, and watch. So AJ, why don't you start this off? What have you got for your wallet? What's in your wallet?
What's in my wallet? Money still, because I didn't gamble in Vegas. It's funny. I'm a fan of slim wallets, but I'm not a fan of these minimal wallets where it's basically like a piece of duct tape and like a money clip. I hate those.
So you stay tuned, folks. That's what I got.
Okay, I may have set that up for you, Chris. So anyway, I'm rocking. Actually, it's by Moleskine. Moleskine actually makes other products other than notebooks, but it's a Moleskine card wallet. And what's funny is that it's actually meant for people that just rock credit cards. It's basically a little Moleskine. It's got even the little elastic strap that goes across the top.
Like the notebook.
The seam is actually this elastic stuff, so it actually expands as you put in your cards. And like I said, it's meant for business cards or credit cards and stuff, but I managed to fold a couple of bills in here, and it's got my Woods card and my ID and stuff. Carries probably about, you can carry about 3 cards on the left side. You can carry wads of cash and a Woods card on the right. But on the front, this is the part I like about this wallet, is there's nothing on the back. On the front, there's also another slot, which is kind of like my hot shot slot, where I keep the card that I'm going to be using right away. And that could be anything from my ID or my credit card or whatever. So when I reach for my wallet, I just have to reach and slide the first card that's on top. It's small if it can fit in your front pocket, and it's available by my Moleskine. And you can buy it directly from them or Amazon or Book Depository if you're abroad. At
various online retailer locations. This is one of the reasons why we need to do a video podcast, AJ, because I'm watching you stretch this wallet here, but we really can't describe that since we're doing audio.
I did a decent job.
You did a fine job, but I'm watching you going stretch, and I'm like, that's cool. But anyway.
What do you got for your wallet?
So I have a piece of aluminum duct tape, and I'm just kidding. So,
but it is black.
It is black, of course. So I have a Columbia. I guess I don't carry that much with me. I do like the magnetized flap. That was the magnetized closing. And I only carry with me my driver's license, a debit card, and my insurance card. And on the medical insurance card, and on the back, I have the in case of emergency numbers and insurance numbers as well.
Ah, clever.
Because the folks at the medical offices only need to see the front part of the card, but on the back, I can have my auto insurance number, the 1-800 number for our insurance, just in case something happens, and in case of emergency, who to call. So I have a very slim wallet, even slimmer than yours, just because of what I'm carrying. But a Columbia men's leather magnetic card holder wallet. It's a mouthful, but it's not a lot of leather.
Yeah, so. I think both of our wallets are like under $50.
This one's about 20 on Amazon. So I mean, we could go with the Costanza type wallet. I went down that road. There was a time when I had the Saddleback leather wallet, and I down with Saddleback leather.
Totes.
Premium products, premium price. I didn't need the bifold. I realized I'm not carrying that much, and you store in your front pocket, something sticking out, it looks a little awkward. Store in your back pocket, you get hip and back problems.
Yeah.
So I decided to go with something a lot slimmer and really pare down what am I taking with me on a regular basis.
Cool, dude. So let's from wallets, let's go to blade or multi-tool.
Sure.
So you and I kind of differ on this. What is your carry when it comes to a blade, and what do you use it for predominantly?
I would say, first of all, for a blade, we've always had the red Swiss Army pocket knife.
Oh, yeah.
And I've graduated from various levels of that. I wanted something that is a letter opener of letter openers, or a package opener of package openers.
The SEAL Team 6 called. They want their letter opener back, Chris.
So basically, I was able to find something. I just wanted something that was like, whoa. And so
that's what this is.
I found it. It's made by Smith & Wesson, the gun people, and they also make knives. But I would never take this knife to a gunfight. However, this is a Smith & Wesson Border Guard. It is all black, has a wonderful grippy handle, has a little belt clip should I want to put it on my belt, and it has about a 3.5 inch blade, and on the other side of it has a seatbelt slicer.
Got it.
And so it is rather helpful. However, if I'm upended in my vehicle in an emergency situation, probably my bag's in the back seat, and I'm not gonna be able to reach for it. Nonetheless, this is my blade that I carry with me in my everyday carry.
And it also looks like it has a window tap.
Yes, it also has one of those glass breaker things on the end. They just throw a lot of features on here, which is great, just in case of emergencies. For a multi-tool, there's a company in Kirkland, Washington named SOG, S-O-G.
Oh, yeah.
And a SOG, love you guys. You're awesome.
Same here.
There is a power assist multi-tool, which is black. Sing along if you know the words. And it just has so many things that I would never really do, but it's got the pliers, it's got the screwdrivers, et cetera, et cetera. Just in case, got that with me. So
cool.
I go with the burly, unnecessary. I get the bazooka for the.
This is a funny moment because I am more minimal when it comes to this than you are.
Yes.
So compared to yours, I have a French-made Opinel, and I might be slaughtering that because my French is not that great. But anyway, this is a wooden handled. It's out of beechwood, and if you ever daydream about being on the French countryside, having a picnic, opening a bottle of wine, and then this Frenchman opens up a blade and cuts you a piece of cheese, that knife that you're envisioning is an Opinel.
Not my Smith & Wesson, as it turns out.
No, that would be in America.
In case I wanted to slice off a piece of cow.
That would be in America. So anyway, Opinel, it's a gorgeous knife because it just looks cool. It actually has when you open the blade, there's no click or anything. It's actually a barrel lock that actually twists at the the nape of the blade. It's just under 3 inches, so it's carryable. Wood, and I also have the carbon steel one, just because I'd never had a carbon steel blade. What's nice about this is that you can get it on Amazon or you can buy it from Opinel. We're talking about maybe $20-$30 for a French built product. It's really cool. For multi-tool, again, I'm more minimal than you. I have always loved Leatherman. I've had several of them, and the Leatherman that I usually carry is the ones that don't have pliers. It has actually scissors.
Ah, yes.
So I've graduated from various Leathermans, but right now I'm rocking the Leatherman Style CS. I think I had one of the earliest versions of this pre the carabiner that you see on the bottom that's integrated into the handle, where it still says patent pending on it. I really like it because I typically find myself in situations where if I need to cut something, I don't need to use a Leatherman blade. I can just use my Opinel. So what else do I need to cut things? When I have paper or something like that. And that's why I like having a pair of very small scissors. It also has a nail file, a standard screwdriver head, a simple blade so that you can open up letters without being, gargantuan from SEAL Team 6 here. And also the thing that I absolutely love, especially when I'm traveling, not in the air, but on the road, has a pair of little tweezers. Mm-hmm. This thing has saved my bacon more times than I can count.
In photography usage or other usage?
I get a sliver in my finger and it hurts. And so I like to be able to reach into my pocket. This particular Leatherman, it only sits probably about 2 inches completely closed, and it has a little carabiner at the ends, and I usually keep it on my keys. And so whenever I'm out and about, if I ever, get a sliver or a boo-boo, I can reach for this. These usually they're kind of a little bit pricey. I think these go for about, don't quote me, probably about $50.
Sometimes the multi-tool, actually with the SOG Power Assist multi-tool, that's about $60, $65 on Amazon.
Yeah.
There's so many uses. Plus, in that case, you got to be able to, this is part of our thing, buy it for life. These things are going to last a long, long time.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is something that I've been in, but not in the culture around, and that is torches or lights, flashlights.
LED lights, yeah.
You actually have gone more in the gambit of lights, I believe.
It's something that we have. Most people have their camera phone, their smartphone will have the light from the flash show up, and that's kind of cool. But for a number of years, I had a buddy who was a former coworker of mine. He introduced me to LED lights and how many lumens that you can get and how you can get a very small visualized lipstick sized container.
Or a USB charger.
And something that can really produce a whole lot of light in not a lot of space. And so for what I've gotten right now, I went the opposite direction than my knife. There's a company called 4Sevens. I believe it's the number 4 and SEVENS if you look them up online. And they have a mini, like half the size of a lipstick container, mini CR2. And I really enjoy this one because it's got to be like 200 some lumens. It's bright, but it's like stages where you have it's either a AA or a AAA, one battery inside the casing for it, and it makes things really bright in case you need it. Small enough to put on your keychain, easy enough to tote around in a little gear pouch or bag. But it's got 3 stages where it's you have battery life. If you put it on full blast, full bright, you're going to get half hour, 40 minutes of consistent light. If you have on low light, just to be able to see where you're going, like in the case of a power outage, that can last a few hours, and that's great. So I've gone with the 4Sevens Mini CR2 in black, of course.
Of course.
So AJ, how about you? What are you doing to light up your life?
So I've had this all aluminum, all black, stands about maybe 2 inches, produces about 400 lumen, Cree based, and I think it's it's not a C6, maybe it is a C6 emitter. And if you ever look up Cree, like usually it'll say Cree and then it'll say a number and a letter, and that usually tells you what type of emitter, which tells you how many lumens.
There you go.
So anyway, I think it's a C6 or C3 emitter, which is about 200, 300 lumens. I got it off of eBay a long time ago, and I've had this thing on so many things. I've had it in my pocket. I've had it on my bike because I can have a little clamp for it on my bicycle, and I can, ride home at night, and it lights up the world. You actually pull the shroud in the front and it'll focus. So you actually can have like a big floodlight or a spotlight. And it's just really cool. I got it for $5 on eBay with the bracket. And that was my first foray into this whole LED light thing. I just put in one single AA battery in it. It works great. Well, recently, because I'm doing a fair bit of traveling right now, and I always take it with me traveling because if you're ever walking the streets of Venice, let's say, and your phone's about to die and you want to have a mode of communication, but you also need to see where you're going, I can't just have it on my phone. So that's why I usually carry a torch of some sort. I graduated a little bit and went to a Cree XML emitter, which I think their designator for that is a T6. It's about 500 or 600 lumens off this thing. So
that's pretty bright.
It's pretty bright. You twist the shroud as opposed to pull the shroud to focus it. And what's cool about this one is it's a 3-stage LED emitter, which means it does the same thing that you just described: full bright, eco saver, and then strobe. But also it has a ring around the bottom of the shroud. And what that does is if you press and hold the button, it will, instead of project out, it'll project into the, or there's a second stage LED that will project inside of the torch. And there's a white ring. And so you actually have a nice soft white light like a lantern. So I can sit it in a dark hostel or whatever and have a little bit of light. Or it also has an LED for red.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
For night reading, or for me, night photography, which is what I needed it for.
Aha.
The cool thing is about this one, as opposed to my other one, is it has a lithium-ion battery and is USB rechargeable.
That helps.
All for the whopping price of $8. I upgraded a little bit on the eBay, and I'll have a link in the show notes. I'm not like you and I kind of looked before recording the show. There is a lot in Flashlightville.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's guys that drool about guns or knives or notebooks or pens. There is a whole community when it comes to torches or flashlights. I am way on the outskirts. I appreciate the manufacturing of them, but me, it's more about functionality and form. And this thing's about 3.5 inches long. I just stuff it in my photography sack so that when I'm traveling, it's the thing I can grab. I don't know how many hours I get on full bright or half bright because I just recently got it about a month ago. So
yeah.
I
and
have
it's USB chargeable, so really...
I haven't recharged it yet, Chris.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Okay.
So that goes for torches. Shall we go on to jotting down our fleeting moments of thought?
Yes, it's always good to go analog every now and then with our notebooks and our pens, because sometimes the smartphone, while it has apps galore for being able to capture those fleeting moments, sometimes you just don't want to have thumbs, and you want to have your own kind of annotation that you really can't do in a lot of ways. But for a notebook or a little notebook that you take with you, what do you got?
So I carry with me, whenever I travel, I carry a Moleskine, which is about the same size as a passport or a field note. I believe the version that I have is called the Volant Moleskine Black.
Good choice. I like black.
Right. It has kind of it's not a paper. It's not like field notes where it's a paper binding. It's actually kind of that moleskin, plastic, faux leathery type of thing. So it's fairly burly. I usually keep it in my back pocket for an entire trip or with my passport, whatever. And it holds up just fine. Usually get a 2 or 3 pack for, about $20. And so I just bring one per trip. That's how I jot down my stuff.
Sounds
How about
good.
you?
I don't have as robust a note-taking method. For those of you that don't know what field notes are, check out fieldnotesbrand.com, because if you go to fieldnotes.com, you might go to different locations. So, the little pocket pieces of paper, there's about 40 to 50 pages per. I always enjoy the variety of colors or their themes, and it's just great to jot down a couple thoughts. Along those lines, there's a pen out there called the Fisher Space Pen Bullet. And the Fisher Space Pen Bullet is kind of about a third of the size of a pen, but when you unscrew the cap and put it on, kind of like you take a pen and put it on the back of it, you actually get a medium-sized pen, and it's still easy to write with. So it's not one of those, you've had the days where you had a number 2 pencil and it's like maybe 1.5 inches before you reach the end of it.
Yep.
This is a comfortable writing instrument. I like the Fisher Space Pen. It's matte black. It's very durable, got a little clip on it, and that's about $20 on Amazon.
Watches. Should we wrap up with one of my favorite topics?
Well, now, yes, and one that I'm learning as I go, because I listen to you and I try to pay attention. But as far as the horology aspect, you are in the major league level and I'm in the T-ball era. But I've realized that I love black accessories for my EDC.
Shocked face.
And I have a couple of blackout, all black, stealth black watches that I use on a fairly frequent basis. And this one today, I'm currently using my Fossil. I believe it's the Nate version, and it's just big black leather strap and watch face and so.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, it's your typical Fossil type of design where it's big and burly and black. It's also a chronograph, so you can do like stopwatchy features and stuff. which is kind of cool for in case you're, timing an egg.
Yes.
That I dig it, dude. I mean, if it's functional for you, it's cool.
When I give a flick of the wrist, I know what time it is. And
Bingo.
So that's where I'm at. But, and it looks like you're doing your creation,
well,
Dr. Frankenstein.
No, this isn't my Frankenstein one. This is the one that I mentioned at the Christmas special, actually.
Yes.
This is the Seiko SKX 007 with a modded bezel that's made by a guy in Poland that goes by 1 second closer. So if you're listening, I'm giving you a total shout out because I love his work. If you're a watch modder and you specifically like the Seiko SKX or the new Turtle, which is the SRP 777, he has parts for you. He does bezels, bezel inserts and stuff. And so I've got the Scandi one on my SKX, and I call this one my Salish C version of the Seiko SKX 007. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go on and on about it because I've talked about it at nauseum on this show. It's one of my favorite go-to watches. It's mechanical. Yours is quartz.
Yes.
So yours has battery. Mine doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mine right now, street price is about 200 bones. Yours is running.
Depending on what research you do, you can get it anywhere from like 85 to about 150.
Totally. So just two different functions for two different kinds of functional people.
And that is a look at our EDCs. Let's wrap it up.
That wraps up for this edition of BPM Tech. Thank you again so much for listening to us, rating us, and reviewing us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Spreaker, that's speaker with an R, or on, if you're in Bellingham, Washington, on KMRE 102.3 FM. Low power
community radio
here in Bellingham, Washington. We're on twice a week.
Thursdays at 9 a.m. and Saturdays at 1:30 p.m.
Right. And if you want, you can also go over to BellinghamPodcast.com. And there you'll find all of our shows, our show notes, pictures, shenanigans from Mr. Chris Powell and myself. From the City of Subdued Excitement, I'm AJ Barcet.
And I'm Chris Powell. Thanks again for joining us once again on BPM Tech.